Good afternoon and welcome back to the garden. Nice overcast day today, a good day for harvesting. So we'll start down here in the greenhouse. We'll take a few peppers, a few tomatoes, a cucumber, and then work our way up the garden, collecting the crops that are ready. And then we'll show you what we've got. As you can see, I have peppers. Not many, but we'll take what are red or nearly absolutely red and then let them ripen in the house. The yellow ones, bullhorn, there's 2 or 3 of those ready, so we take those as well. Let's snip a few off and see what they're like. They do seem a funny shape, but Di says that doesn't matter. They are a funny shape. Oh well. That one's really ripe, look. Different. Now that one's not quite. I do believe that one's ready. A bit growing on that one. Hasn't quite ripened yet, no. Maybe that one's going to be a double. I've watched that one ripening in there and wondered what shape it would make. It was locked into the foliage. I'll take that one. That one's not quite ripe, but it'll nearly pass as an orange coloured one, wouldn't it? I don't think that one's quite ripe neither, but we'll take it. Here we are, that's a good one. That one I'm sure we'll get. Oh. Yes, we're getting more than I thought actually. Oh, that one's not quite. That one's not quite, look, but they'll soon ripen through. That's a good one. In that case, they're just not quite ready, so we'll leave those and we'll have a look at the bullhorn. Right, let's have a look at these bullhorns then. Yeah. A little bit damaged there, look, but we'll soon cut that off. Load this one. It'll be nice to get some of these off. I'm going to have to tie that up or turn the pot. It's not quite, it's sort of leaning tower pizza, that one. They get so heavy when they've got the peppers on. This one is a yellow box pepper, yellow. That's not quite, so we'll leave that. We'll have that one in a few days. But you can see they're not far off. So there's our first pick of peppers this year. A little bit late, but the weather we've had, I think we've done quite well. I'm also going to take this cucumber that's here, look. That's a nice cucumber. Now, as you can see, the tomatoes are about ready. We will pick some. Now, I have doubled up the shade on the outside of the greenhouse to stop the glare of the sun, because this, what happens, I'll take it off, it'll be easier. It's a nice tomato, but it's got this on. This stays green for a while. This is ripening a little bit now. It will eventually turn red. That is done by the sun glaring through the glass on the tomatoes, and you get that effect. I've doubled the shade to try and help it, because we have got a few like that. You can still use tomato, just cut that bit off. We'll pick these tomatoes, you've seen us do it before, and we'll show you what we're going to get today. I do think it'll be a passata weekend the time we're done, so we might have to take a bit of basil as well. We've got some garlic, so we're alright. These are the tomatoes we've picked in the greenhouse, and those 2 outside the door. Take these up with us. I think there's a lettuce to pick on the way, a red one. And then we'll look at the other tomatoes, and I want to lift the onions today. Now, just as we passed, we've got some courgettes ready. Now, as you know, the courgettes weren't doing very well at all. They was making a courgette and they had blossom end rot on them. We don't know if it exactly was blossom end rot, but anyway, I treated it with agricultural gypsum, and then we thought, well, it might be blossom end rot as well, so I put chalk on as well, and we seem to have cured it. I've watered it in well, and these are the first ones we've picked. It seems it was a calcium deficiency in the soil, but that could have been from all the floods, etc. we had. I have spoken to the agronomist, but we'll talk about that later. So as you can see, we've got courgettes. And I do believe there's 2 more down there, so I'll get those and then show you. There's the courgettes, first ones we've had off these, and I'm now looking forward to my courgette and pineapple cake. My mouth's watering. Now in this net area we had a cucumber left, so I just popped it in. It has got a cucumber on it, so we're going to take that as well. Now, nice and dark green, and for fem spot outdoors, that's a good cucumber. I'm going to take as well one of these red lettuce. You see they've been here a while, 1 or 2 stretching a bit, so we're going to take that. I'm going to cut it on the ground because I don't want to mess the foliage up too much digging them up. That's a nice Lollo Rosso lettuce. The chickens like it too, so all these outside pieces they'll eat. Now this is what is left of my onion crop this year. Very poor this year. It hasn't been a good onion year for me at all. The ground is cracked wide open. It makes you wonder that all this cracking, now over the last, I don't know, 7 years I think, we've put over a ton of manure and straw and everything into this garden, and with it being so heavy soil, it still cracks wide open and you can put your hand in it. What I should do, I should just lever them with the fork and then take them off, leave them on top. Then if it looks like it's going to rain, I'll whip them up and take them in the shed. It's a steel fork. As you can imagine, in this land you need steel forks if they'll come up. And we'll have a quick look at them as we lift them. Make sure there's no rot on the base. Any rot on the base, we'll discard them straight away. That one's okay, but I'll just leave them on top. I'll do 2 or 3 with you. There we go. No, they're fine. Just need to dry out and then we'll clean them. Yeah. Now I'll get them lifted and show you what we've got laid out. There's not many reds this year. I'll get them done. Now that's our onion crop for this year. I should be able to make maybe a couple of strings out of them, but we'll see how we go with those. The year we've had and what's happened down here, I'm pleased we've got something out of the onions. Now there's a small group there, little group here is bullneck flowering, if you like. They'll not make anything, look, because take that off, you see, and they don't use those. And this one, as you can see, look, in there, it was rotten. I kept going along feeling them over the last couple of 3 weeks, and if there's no root, I've taken them away and burnt them anyway, but obviously I missed that one. So they'll lay there, dry out a little bit, and then I'll get them in the shed and finish them in the shed. Then if it does rain, it's not going to wet them through. The tomatoes we're going to pick over again, second time this week, and as you can see, there's loads still to come, so we need to keep picking them as they become ready. The yellow ones, they're doing as well. The bigger ones and the plum tomatoes are just coming into their own a little bit now, so we'll be watching those and picking those as well. We'll get these picked, but I'll have to get Diane to give me a hand, so we'll show you in a minute what we've got. These are the tomatoes we've picked out here. The smaller ones are Gardener's Delight. The plum ones are the Italian, and the round ones, they are Crimson Crush. I just thought I'd show you the Brussels sprouts doing very well. The little Brussels are beginning to form now. They're actually pushing on the mesh now, but the mesh is quite loose yet for them. But I won't take the mesh off until next month anyway, and then give them the freedom. That'll be the stage when, if they need any stakes in them when the wind's blowing, then we'll do that then. And we'll have to put an open net on them to stop the pigeons from eating the tops of the Brussels out. It's not that we mind them eating them, it's the mess they create while they're doing it. Now these dwarf peas, if you remember, were set here, and I set some in the fruit cage as well. They're at that stage now where they want a little bit of support. Well, this is that mesh I was telling you about. It's a plasticky mesh. I should put a line of that at the side of it and weave a few bamboos through it, and then put some of this mesh just on top. The bamboos I put in, I leave proud, just put a plant pot on top and then droop the net over it, just stop the pigeons from eating them. This is a little job I'll do early one morning when I've got a bit of peace and I can get it done. This is the celery we've grown from seed. As you can see, it looks very good. Now inside, I don't know if you can see very well, but in there, look at that celery, it's pure white and clean. So what we're going to do, we're going to lift a couple and have them while they're on the younger side, which are absolutely beautiful. Now I'm actually going to lift them with a knife by cutting around and then cutting deep and taking them out. I don't want to put the fork in because I don't want to disturb the others too much. This is the guy we're going for here, look. Now I'll just cut round. That's it, take that out. Look at that, it's beautiful and white and very, very tasty. I'll just give that to Di and we'll get another one. Just cut around, well, and then deep under for the bottom roots. Cut those off. Again, look at that. There's a little mark on that one, but we'll lose that. I'll just scrape this dirt off. Now we're going to take a few of these spring onions. As you can see, they're well ready. They've already really wanted using before now. But while you're lifting them, if you just grab them, give them a gentle tug. If they're rooted in, that's fine. You see these here, how they just fall out? That means they've got rot on the bottom. Discard those. Don't use them. These are alright. Yeah, it was just that group there. So we'll take them there, that bit of a row. I've also got the next plants of spring onions. They're ready for going in now actually. And the white Lisbon, what I've set. So I'll have to get this ground prepared up and get those in, because the time they get on should be middle of end next month, so hopefully it might be cooling a bit. Just loosen them and we'll clean them at the tank, but I don't want to take too much of this soil away. It's very good soil, this is just here. So we'll just loosen them a little so I can keep that bit of soil on the garden. Well rooted. As I say, if they come up too easy, discard them. They're the Swedes, by the way, for autumn. They're doing alright. I keep seeing a butterfly in there and I have to chase it down. There was a good handful of spring onion there. They want cleaning a bit. Get these leaves off and wash the bottoms and they'll be as good as any then. We do need to pick some raspberries. We actually pick the raspberries now every other day, and I didn't pick yesterday because we was out shopping, etc. So today we need to pick them. Now we've come into the raspberries. Remember, these are the later cropping raspberries. They grow up, they crop, and then we cut them down till next year. But as you can see, they're very large, and this was picked more or less clean 2 days ago, so they're coming very, very quickly now. But they're good raspberries. I can't remember what they was called, but I think if we delved into the records far enough back, we'll be able to find them for you. So let's pick them. Just go along. I find with raspberries, if they're ready, they come off. If they're like that and they're not ready, they won't release. You see, so it's just a case of, oops, not that one, I have to fix that one. That's the raspberries we're going to pick. Put them in the basket, but I will need an extra pair of hands for the other side, so I'll get Diane to do that. Now we have a nice little summer harvest for us here. We'll just go through it with you and show you what we've got. Now those are those raspberries that we just picked, and there's the tail end of the blackberries now. Blackberries are now finished. They're very, very early this year, but that's the tail end of them. I don't think there'll be any more. The tomatoes, if you can remember, Gardener's Delight, they're the plum ones, Italian plum, and these are the Crimson Crush. They're very good sized tomato, the Crimson Crush. The yellow tomatoes we go, which were Honeybee, and then the first of the peppers. Quite pleased with those, although they are a funny shape, but they're still peppers. The red lettuce, that is Lollo Rosso. Some celery, very young celery. That's going to be very nice, that is. That's the first real pick we've had off it. And then you got at last the courgettes, 2 cucumbers, fem spot, one outdoor, one indoor, and those are those parade spring onions. While we was picking the fruit, I remembered that I didn't tell you that we were going to leave the pruning of the fruit bushes until spring now. Normally I just do a little bit of summer prune and then another prune in the late winter, spring sort of thing. This year we'll leave it to then because we've got such a lot to do in the garden. Now, as you know, we had problems this year with flood and rain, etc., and some of our crops at the bottom of the garden were either failing or doing no good at all. So we've had the agronomist in, and he says we've got to leave it for a good year. Well, can't leave it all for the year, so we're going to leave the bottom half fallow for as long as we possibly can. He said he'll help us do some tests on it as well, so we'll get the tests done, but we'll involve you with those so you know what we're doing to this soil to find out what's up with it. With the looks of it, it looks like one of the things that's wrong is a calcium deficiency, but then, like the man said, you don't know what's washed down. We are in the countryside here, and all the fields above us that have drained this way, you just don't know what them guys have sprayed and what's mixed with what, etc. But knowing the cost of sprays this as it is for farmers now, they won't put much on. Now that's all to follow, so we might be a little bit intermittent. Somebody's laid an egg. Oh dear. We might be a little bit intermittent with the videos, so if you just bear with us, and we will try to keep you up to date as much as possible. Now that's it for this week. Thank you for being with us, we do appreciate it, and we'll see you in a few days or a week or so. We'll see how we go. Bye now.